Raise you up on eagle's wings, bear you on the breath of dawn, made you to shine like the sun, and hold yous in the palm. What am I? A promo for Stranger Things Season 3? I'm not. Hello everyone, it is I, Ash, and today I'm going to be talking about, drumroll please, I gotta grab the book, Amityville Horror. Yes, today we're going to be talking about Amityville, the scary situation that happened to this family in December of 1975. The Lutz family, George and Kathleen Lutz. What's the story behind that? Why is there a book written about it? Why are there like 4 books written about it when it was just one occurrence? They left 28 days later, and this whole book chronicles that, but there are more books in the series. I haven't read the other ones because I don't care, but I did read this 3-4 years ago, something like that. I don't know. I was a child when I read this, and it was pretty good. Throwing that away, I put it in my dirty clothes. It's gonna get washed. Just kidding. Haha. So, the Amityville Horror. To summarize, this family moves into a house called Amityville, in Amityville something, and they proceed to have all of these supernatural occurrences happen to them. And then 28 days after they move in, they move out. This house was the site of a murder scene in which a man killed his entire family. So that probably has something to factor into it. But it's also been widely criticized. There's been a lot that has come out that's like, this isn't true, the family was lying, this is all just a big ploy to get money. So today we're going to talk about whether or not it could be true, and what do I think? What do you think? Let me know in the comments after you've watched this video. Watch this video first, please. Hi, I need the views. I'm unemployed right now. So I have this handy dandy notebook, which used to be my 2019 bullet journal, and then I stopped bullet journaling, so now it is for Ghostie's stories now, yeet. So the history of this house. We're gonna start way back when. In a year that I don't know. I don't know what year it was, but it happened. The land that the house is built on, and maybe the house itself, I don't know for sure, but it used to be owned by a man named John Ketchum. Now, this guy was a practicing black magician, and he actually died there, and his remains are still buried on the property. Creepy, scary, don't really like that. This land was also owned by the Shinnecock Indians, who it was said that they used the house as a house for the sick and the mad, and these people were actually left to die in that house. A year before the family moved in, a man named Robert J. DeFeo Jr., he was 23 years old, and he shot and killed his entire family in that house while they were sleeping. So this included his mother, his father, and his 4 younger siblings. So then 13 months after Robert DeFeo killed his entire family, the Lutz family moved into the house. The Lutz family was comprised of George and Kathleen Lutz, and then I believe their 2 sons? 2 sons and a daughter, I think, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know for sure. I could look it up, but I'm not going to. It's fine. So they moved in, and then they left after 28 days because of paranormal activity, which prompted the legend of the Amityville Horror House, which is now considered the most haunted house in America. So I'm just gonna read off some of the crazy things the family claimed happened. Some of these things I can believe happened just because they're pretty run-of-the-mill things. And you hear about it a lot in like haunted houses and stuff like that. So I'm going to read off some of the things that they said happened to them. So George Lutz was said to wake up at 3:15 a.m. every single day, which was apparently around the time DeFeo carried out the murders. The Lutz family claimed to smell strange odors, see green slime oozing out of the walls and keyholes, and experience cold spots in certain areas of the house. When a priest came to bless the house, he claimed to have heard a voice tell him to get out. A nearby garage door opened and closed. An apparition knocked a knife down in the kitchen. A pig-like creature was staring at George and his son from outside their window. George woke up to see his wife Kathy levitating, and his sons tended to levitate in their own beds as well sometimes. George was plagued by a constant chill and just continued to keep feeding the fire. And if you've seen the movie, I don't remember if it happens in the original movie, but in the Ryan Reynolds version, I know for a fact it happens in that one. And you can see him just continually chopping wood and throwing it into the fire because he's just constantly cold. Hundreds of flies were always seen in the sewing room despite it being the dead of winter. And George saw his wife watched her turn into a 90-year-old hag. So, that's crazy. So then 20 days after the Lutz family moved out, the Warrens, Ed and Lorraine Warren, who are were amazing people, rest in peace, I loved them. They went and investigated the house, and they saw some insane things, like they felt some crazy things. So some of the things that they found, or that they, felt were, they were called in by a news reporter with New York Channel 5. So they weren't called in by the Lutz family, but they were called in by, the news channel. So during the investigation, Ed was actually pushed, to the floor while using some religious provocation in the basement. Lorraine was also overwhelmed by the sense of a demonic presence. She was also plagued with psychic impressions of a family lying on the floor, I believe in the foyer, with sheets covering them, which could be the DeFeo family. She could be seeing that still. Because she was known to be, like, sort of psychic, where if she walked into a house, she could sort of see different things. So she saw a family lying on the ground, covered in white sheets. And then she also says that she felt like she was being pushed, just sort of like Ed did, except I don't think she fell. So then the research team also captured a photo of a boy on the stairs, which I will insert now. I hope I answered that. So then, yeah, the research team also found out about about John Ketchum and the Shinnecock Indians. And so the Warrens actually believed that these energies could be negatively affecting the house, and that's why all of these paranormal experiences are happening to them. So that's sort of the evidence, or lack thereof, because they didn't see any pig-like creatures. They were not, they weren't levitating, like, none of that stuff happened. There was nothing green oozing out of the walls. Like, this isn't SpongeBob.
Slinging slasher!
Proof that it's not true. I only have one item of proof because there was so much that I just kind of narrowed it down. Obviously, like I said in the last video, the sources will always be down below. And I got most of this stuff from Warren.net, which is Ed and Lorraine Warren's website, for all of their cases and all of the stuff that they've had to deal with. So just to let you know, all of the links will always be down in the description. I believe this one was not from Warren.net because I don't think that they would put this on there. But there was a man named Dr. Stephen Kaplan, who was the executive director of the Parapsychology Institute of America in Long Island. And the Lutzes called and asked him, actually, to come to the house because he was also kind of a demonologist. Like, he looked into all of this stuff. Like Ed and Lorraine Warren did, and he wouldn't charge them anything for the first visit. He would, you know, because obviously if you're getting like tormented by evil spirits or anything, you're not really thinking about money. So I think that's really cool that some people don't actually charge to come to your house and look. I think that that's really nice. But so Dr. Stephen Kaplan did not do that, or he didn't make them pay or anything. Kaplan told him that he would go do the investigation free of charge, but, and I'm quoting, "If the story is a hoax, the people will know," end quote. So a few days later, Lutz called him to tell him that he didn't want him investigating the house anymore. He just wanted to keep it out of the public eye. He didn't really want to make a big deal out of it. So, all fine and dandy. But then, all of a sudden, Channel 5 News was at the Lutzes' house, and they were calling it Ed and Lorraine Warren. If he really didn't want it public, why would he call in Channel 5 News? If it wasn't a hoax, why would he not have let Stephen Kaplan investigate his house? Like, that just doesn't really make any sense to me. So then also, we have some proof to the contrary, like maybe it was true. They did pass a lie detector test, and their son, Daniel, claims the house ruined his life, and he still has nightmares about it. And DeFeo, actually, when he was in jail, was saying that voices told him to kill his family. But the most damning proof, I think, is the fact that their lawyer said that they came up with the story over a couple bottles of wine. Like, they were drinking and they were just like, wouldn't it be really, really funny if, you know, maybe we did this and we made people think that our house was haunted, and then we got a book deal out of it, and we got a movie deal out of it, and then we got a bunch of money. And I guess that's it. This was kind of a short video. I did as much research as I guess I could in the short amount of time that I had to put this together, but I guess I'll share you my opinion now. Okay. All right. I do believe that Amityville house is haunted. However, I do not believe most of the claims the Lutz family had. There is a lot of evidence to the contrary that I really couldn't look into deeply enough. Hopefully I can start doing that more with other places. But for this one, I just sort of didn't really want to look into it because this has been like widely speculated and people talk about it all the time. Like, it is known as the most haunted house in America. So I do believe that the house is haunted, mostly because I believe the Warrens. They are credible, I think, personally. And so I do believe that maybe the place is haunted, but I don't believe it is to the extent that the Lutzes say it is. I don't think that there was green goo oozing from the walls or from the keyholes. I don't believe they saw a pig-like creature outside their window, and I don't really believe anyone levitated. I don't know, guys. Like, it doesn't seem plausible to me. And I believe in ghosts. Trust me, I definitely believe in ghosts. It's just, sometimes I don't really think that it's true. I did have one Facebook comment, thank you very much to my good friend. I am not going to say your name, but let me go get my computer. Facebook. Fucky book. On my computer, I have a comment that says, "It is possible the Lutz family did make it up, being as previous families had lived there without experiencing similar instances, but also possible that the Warrens did feel something was there. Some people are more in touch with the spirit world than others. Some spirits can also make themselves present to whomever they want, while others are stuck in the same time period they lived, even if said area/building has changed. That's why sometimes it can look as though they walk through walls. For example, it's possible a hallway or doorway was once there. With all that said, I do believe that it's an old house, something spiritual is there. I believe in ghosts. I used to watch haunted history and shows like it, although for a show like that, I'm sure it was quite a bit of reenactment." Yes. So I completely agree with everything this person said. I I do believe that the house is haunted. I just don't believe that it's to the extent of the Lutzes claims. So yeah, I guess that is basically it. If you guys want, leave a comment down below telling me what you think of the Amityville story. Do you think it was real? Do you think the Lutzes were telling the truth? Or maybe you think that they weren't, because that's insane. Just let me know down below, and tell me what other creepy stories you would want me to look into. I have loads of ideas, but I'm also here for you. And I will see you on Friday for another video. Thank you guys again so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Goodbye.